Fellow nerds, we are talking Secret Invasion, Episode 4, Beloved. That was the name of the episode. I'm not referring as to my co-host as that or anyone out there in the audience. And
It's okay,
or maybe
Keith
I don't know
and
who's
Dave.
all out there.
You two are my beloved. I love both of you very much. Madly, deeply, truly.
Are we reading poems tonight?
What song is that? That's like the Dashboard Confessional. A deep cut from Doug.
But for the first time in the history of us talking about a show or a movie, I feel like we're going to start at the beginning.
A long time ago, like a billion years ago, there's dinosaurs, you see. Oh, wait, not that far into the beginning?
No, not
Hey,
that
you
far.
see?
Oh.
Only because the thing we talked about the most last week, which I think we all knew based on trailer footage, Gaia was coming back.
And her Twitter post didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, when that happened, when I saw it, when that started, I thought, okay, so they did it that way. It takes a little longer to take effect. You know, it takes a second to heal, which is fine. That's fine. But you know, it's overall, I'm just tired of that. Oh, let's kill somebody and then bring them back thing. I get so tired of that. But you know, I see the way they did it. It can be done. I understand the plot, but there, you know, something else happens later in the show that I'll discuss on the same topic. What were we gonna say?
My only problem with it seemed like I was fine with her coming back. I was like, okay, but she just found out about the Super Skrull program.
Yeah.
And was able to secretly go into the machine and give herself the powers. I was kind of like, man, because in the episode before, she was like rushed, going through everything and trying to get everything on time and then rushing out the building. But now we find out not only did she have time to learn about how to use the machine, but to also give her powers. I was just kind of like, fine. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have done it
Plot
better.
armor.
You know, I wouldn't even call it plot armor. To me, it seemed, you know, this was one of the very beginning. This was probably the part of this episode that I disliked the most, just because I felt like they could have come up with many better ways to have figured out a way to, if they wanted to keep her alive, right? First off, you're not tricking us with the fake out death stuff anymore. Like, whatever. Just stop. But the fact, like what Keith pointed out, that somehow, even though she was rushing to try and make this plan happen, and she was like trying to, you know, quickly grab the memories, do this, do that, and all of a sudden, oh, wait, I can give myself super scroll powers. Hold on. Let me go ahead and type on this computer. All right, let me go to this machine that, for whatever reason, isn't guarded. All right, let me stop. And I wonder how long it takes for it to power up, give me the superpowers, make sure that, you know, everything worked out correctly. Are there any tests that need to be done? Do I just trust that it's good? All right, now let me get on this motorcycle and rush outside and be shot. And like there was so much nonsense that like so much suspension of disbelief that you had to do. And to me, it felt like, you know, a bunch of kids playing, you know, cowboys and Indians or tag with each other, and it's like, I got you, you're dead. No, because before, when you weren't looking, I gave myself superpowers. I'm a super scroll now, so I'm not.
I have
dead.
a force field, but you didn't call it earlier. No, I said it, and I called
you just
it,
didn't
and
hear me.
The rule is you got to say it so quiet because you're in the force field, so you just didn't hear me.
That was my thought. I'm like, this sounds like it was like a last minute kind of, oh yeah, by the way, no, actually she's got powers now, right? So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what would be really shocking is if we killed off this main character in the third episode. Everyone's gonna be blown away, and then we'll just bring her back. It'd be so cool.
Do you think that was in the original show, or do you think that was a reshoot thing?
I think it was in the original show. I think
Really?
they're doing. It's funny because one of the things I like best about this show is the acting and some of the scenes some of these actors have together. Like the scene in the church between Don Cheadle and Priscilla, I thought was phenomenal. You could feel the tension between them. You know, it was very well done. And then they do silly things like like Gaia coming back, where if they would have done a better job of having her more involved in the Super Skrull program earlier on in episodes, and not just finding out about it then giving it to herself right away, that would have worked so much better.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they do such a good job on some of this, and then others it feels like they were just like, everyone will buy it, don't worry about it. And it's like they're half-assing it, and I'm...
Yeah.
Some parts are really good, though. Some parts are really bad.
Yeah.
That's the best way of putting it. Yes, both of you. You hit the nail on the head. Some parts are good, some parts are bad. That's how I felt about this episode. There was like a couple of parts where it'd be like, oh, that was nice, or oh, that was pretty cool. Like, I really, really enjoyed, like, right to around the end, just watching Nick and Talos interact. I thought that was great.
We're not jumping to the end though, Doug. We're not doing that.
Right. We're not jumping to the end. But the rest of the episode, like even the part that you were talking about, Keith, where they're sitting in the church, I don't know, it didn't really blow me away. It wasn't that fantastic to me because it all felt off. I don't know if it's on purpose because they want Don Cheadle's, character in this instance to not feel like himself because, again, it's a Skrull. But it felt so off the entire time. Their entire conversation, it felt like somebody like puffing out their chest and pretending to be more of a threat than they actually were. And it was like, I know that the goal of that scene is to try and, get you like, oh boy, oh no, there's some tension in the air. I didn't feel that. I was just like, oh shit, I would have knocked him over.
You know what? I just felt like how he accomplished the scene. I just felt like, you know how I was talking last time about scenes that have conversations that normal people would have, and then there's scenes that just move the plot along. That was that scene. I knew he's the number one spy. He's the best spy of all time, supposed to be. You knew he was there for a reason. He wasn't there just to have a conversation, ask for a job back. You knew he was setting him up. I knew, you could tell. That's how that story's got to go.
Oh,
and clearly Fury knows that it's him.
Oh,
he knew he was the Skrull. And it was the way they handled the whole Rhodey reveal throughout this entire show so far was just done terribly. They didn't hide it at all. You know what I mean? It wasn't very well hidden. Everyone knew.
The whole Skrull conspiracy in this show has been the worst part of it. It's like they're not doing a good job of any huge surprises. It's been very predictable who's Skrulls and what's going to happen with these people. The best parts of this show have been like Colman, I can't remember her name now, who plays Farnsworth, the British spy chief. Nick, I think Don Cheadle has been great. Like all the acting and scenes individually have been really good, but the whole Skrull conspiracy part of it is pretty lackluster.
Yeah.
There's been nothing that has really jumped out. Yeah. It's from going from the comic to this. Like the comic was like, holy cow. Oh my God. I can't believe
that's the point I've been trying to make. It's so boring.
But earlier on I was like, okay, they're gonna build up to it. They're gonna have some things. And now we've episode 4 and there hasn't been a wow thing yet. There hasn't really been anything.
Yeah.
Skrull conspiracy wise that has been off the charts cool, or not 1,000 feet coming away going, okay, this is coming, we all know it. And that's kind of been disappointing, but I'm still enjoying the show overall.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I'm still enjoying the show, but it's like you're saying, it's so predictable, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, and even the part where Gaia meets Talos on the park bench. I don't know why they're out there in the middle of nowhere. That was kind of weird. But he describes to her his plan. We're gonna defeat the other Skrulls, and they're gonna see us do it, and they're gonna trust us. And I kept thinking, isn't that Charles Xavier's plan with the X-Men, to show that there's good ones and bad ones, and the good ones are here to protect you. It's like the same plan that Xavier had.
And the whole time he's talking, and the thing he does not get is that Skrulls do not want to live as humans. They want, like she said, we want to be in our own. Don't you want to be in your own skin?
Yep.
And he's
Yeah.
like, of course. But then he's like, we'll do this, and then we'll stay here for a while longer, showing them how great we are, and hopefully they find. I'm like, it was so funny because at that I wrote a note to myself at that scene. I'm like, Talos is dead.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, he is
They
so out of
foreshadowed
touch, way out of touch with how every other Skrull on that planet feels. He is so,
Yep.
like, he's so with the status quo of what's going on now. He can't see that nobody else wants to be that way. None of his Skrulls want to be that way. And I was like, oh, damn. Because I like Ben Mendelsohn. I think he does a great job. And I was like, okay, I didn't, spoiler alert, I did not think it was going to happen this episode.
I don't think he's, I think they're going to do that shit again. I swore, I'm sorry. I think they're
Again?
going to bring him back. They're going to bring him back. And it's going to be dumb. And because there's no way that he's just dying like that.
I don't think they will.
You don't think? I hope they don't. That would be awesome. But as far as the show has gone, they haven't really proved that. Like Maria Hill. I mean, who knows? She still may come back. But the way they've been writing it, if Maria Hill was going to be the one death that stayed permanent on this show, and then they keep bringing back everyone else they kill, that's what I feel like is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. I really don't.
Oh, you just made me think they're gonna do like a heist thing. And okay, here's our Rick and Morty reference, our first Rick and Morty reference of the night.
You son of a bitch. I'm in.
Good, I'm glad you're in. Do you remember the end of that Rick and Morty heist episode where they were like going back and forth trying to say, well, before you planned this, I did this,
Yes.
this, and this. Well, actually, I knew that you were going to do that. I swear to all that is holy in the comic book world, if they pull a heist episode and Nick goes, well, actually, we knew that you were planning this all along. Maria, come on out. Yeah, I faked my own death. That was actually blah, 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 blah. And we did this and this and this because we knew that you were going to do this and that.
Yeah.
I could see them at this point. I could see them pulling that, but I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I really think he's going to stay dead, only because they are going to use him as like a martyr against Gravik. And he's going to be that shining symbol. And eventually, they're going to win the day. And it's funny because, I was thinking about it. I don't know if you guys watched the show Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's pretty good.
I saw it.
Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski plays Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
And it is such a well done spy show. Like there's so many factors going on, and there are so many plot lines going on at one time and all coming together, and we're interweaving itself out. And that's really what I thought Secret Invasion was going to be like. And it's not. It is about as straightforward as you can possibly get and call itself a spy show. Like,
You know what? Well, you know what I keep thinking is like, how Andor had 9 episodes and they did 3 episode arcs. They
Yeah,
had 6
12.
episodes with this. They had 12. Okay, so they did 3 episode arcs. So they had 4 different sets of 3. Now this show has 6. Why don't they just do 2, 2, and 2? You know what I mean? The first act, second act, third act. That's how they write their movies. They do, all right, here's the situation in the first act. Second act is figuring out what they're going to do. Third act is execution. Right? They could do that with this show, but they haven't. They're bouncing all over the place.
I don't know, Dave. I wish I had an answer for you.
Everybody get Tony Gilroy on the phone.
Yeah. He needs the right. When the strike is over, we need you to write some. But the whole thing, after Talos, was killed by Gravik, I was starting to think, okay, maybe this is going to put a fire under Gaia, and she is going to save the day with Nick Fury or something, and then she's
she
going to
already
be the
kind
one.
of had a fire under her.
Well, she did, but this is going to amp it up a little bit, like almost be like, okay, this is my mission to stop Gravik and then get us off this planet, find us a place to go. And I think she's going to stop Gravik and show everyone the right way to do it. And then either go, remember there was another Skrull group, Emperor Doge, who was out there, who I do think will complete the Super Skrull program. I think she's going to join them. And wherever they are, they're going to find their own homeworld and hopefully become kind of a threat in the MCU like they are in the comics, where they're battling the Kree. You know, they're not just some refugees who are trying to infiltrate a planet here and there. They need to become a powerhouse again. Because
they need to do something. Something needs to happen. I don't know that at this point they're in, you know, the MCU's in any position to try and reformulate it to fit more in line with the way that they tell the story in the comics. I don't know. I don't know if they can do that at this point. We'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do with it all. Again, we still have the issue at hand where not all of the Skrull are bad. You do have a good handful that are still working with Sword and with Nick Fury, and you know, actually legitimately do like Earth and want to be there. So I don't know. Oh, I have a question for you two gentlemen. I wrote down a note when I saw that, and you kind of brought it up a moment ago there, Keith, when you said that they were talking about, you know, oh, we just want to walk around in our own skin. Do it. What's stopping you?
And that was part of, you know, the nuclear power plant place they had. They were, you know,
No, I mean,
around in their own
just
skin.
do it now. Like, they're literal aliens living on Earth. They've been living on Earth. Did we forget that all of New Asgard is there? And okay, granted, I'll give you this. Most of the New Asgardians look human. But Korg is there. He's a living rock pile. Nobody seems to bat an eye at that. I'm sure there wasn't what's his name? The little dude that was with Korg.
Was it
Meek
I wanted to say- Meek?
Yeah, he's there. He doesn't look human. I mean, like, Earthlings, I think, are used to this by now in the MCU. It's not going to be that big of a surprise. That's, again, I think another hard, difficult part with trying to tell the hidden undercover Skrull story at this point. Like, maybe they should have done it earlier, or maybe they should have said it in like the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that, where it would have been an actual, you know, more of a threat. Oh, there are aliens living among us. But like, this is a Tuesday at this point for people in the MCU. I guarantee if somebody said, and secretly I have green skin. Okay. And
all right,
You don't have a glove.
But wait, you mean you guys would have been cool if I would have been wearing my own skin? Yeah. Actually would have been cooler.
Since they're living in, that was almost a Christopher Walken there. Since they're living in you know, radiation
Chernobyl
areas, they're not going to run into people anyway. They could set up the whole freaking society in radiation-filled areas.
They can make new Skrullos.
There's only a million of them.
Humans would be like, you don't have some super weapon that's going to wipe out half of, you know, society, right? No, we just want to live. Cool.
Right?
Go live in Chernobyl. Go live all in those places all over Russia. It's cool. Go do it. We can't live there anyway. So that takes away from the whole premise of them having to take over the world. They don't have to in order to survive.
Right. That's it. Like, it didn't even click like right away, because I already knew the premise of what the show was supposed to be about, you know. And so all of a sudden when he says that, I'm like, wait a minute. That's all they want. That's literally all they want. Like, yeah, we just want to be ourselves. We want to just hang out and just be Skrulls.
Then do it.
If that's it, then do it. I mean, what is stopping you?
Yeah, it's kind of flimsy when you think about it too much. But you know, it's still not. I still don't think it's a bad show. I'd still give it a 5.
I definitely think it's above average based on the performances.
Oh, I don't.
It would be a lot better if the main conspiracy plot line was better. But I still enjoy watching it. I like watching it. I'm just like, oh, good stuff.
For me personally, at its best, it's average. Because I have seen much better shows come out from the MCU.
Oh yeah, like Moon Knight.
No, God, no. Like, I've seen WandaVision. I've seen that the MCU can make good series. I've seen that Disney Plus, if we're gonna go into like Andor, Star Wars territory, can make good shows. You know, just
Oh.
try harder, I guess.
You know, they need to think of it like a movie and then be a little more detailed in the storytelling.
Maybe this should have been a movie.
If it was a movie, there would be a lot more of these points that are condensed.
Yeah, they'd cut out a lot of the nonsense filler.
Yeah.
And I would kill for a Nick Fury focused movie.
There's no nonsense filler. She had to go to that bank vault to get the gun to kill Nick Fury because you can't have guns in your home.
Right. In America.
Well, then she had to be able to make that phone call from the bank vault. And then we would all know it was Rhodey. Then we would all know. It was so clever the way they did that.
It's so clever.
Clever girl. That's a Doctor Who reference.
That was a what?
Doctor Who reference.
That wasn't a Jurassic Park reference?
Clever girl. Oh, I didn't see Jurassic Park, so.
Oh.
I know about the movie about the prehistoric pig, though. Jurassic Pork.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
no?
God.
Dad joke
Good night,
time.
everybody. Yeah, no one even paid for a dag joke. You're giving those things away free, man. We got channel points.
I forgot
Oh,
we
this
had
can't
that
fit
as
anything in forever. I got so many points on here. You know?
I know. And then, we get to the end of this episode. And it seemed like so many people were firing guns and running around. And not many, like at one point, Nick Fury is like running past people and they're shooting at him and they're all missing.
Yeah.
And I was like, they should have done a better job of mapping out this big fight scene because it seemed a bit silly to me. I was like, oh, this isn't
Even
good.
the road it was on was kind of weird.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't executed very well. I mean, it was, absolutely. We got to absolutely.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of Wonder Woman 84 as far as that where that
I mean, pointless.
yeah, where the whole I forget what the convoy where the convoy was seemed like an odd choice to me.
Hold on, let me get my book of notes of everything I hate about Wonder Woman 84.
Oh no, he's gonna hurt his back. Do you got your back belt on?
The very first line of the movie was,
from the
"Hello."
floor.
I hated that.
We need to add that to our list of redeemable items. Force me to say something nice about Wonder Woman 84.
Well, and that's the thing. And then, like, all right, so at the end, Fury's gonna take the president, and then he says, "I'll be back for you." And then when he sees Gravik has him, and then Gravik just drops him, right? It murders him, but he wasn't dead yet. And Fury didn't know he was dead, but he just he's already been lucky enough to cross that field without getting hit by a bullet. Does he think going back that he would be hit? Or go back and get your friend? You don't just leave him there.
I thought about that. That seemed a little shitty of him because, like, literally just before that, they were having like such a good moment, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I like this part of the show." They're, you can tell they've been partners for a while, and like they really know each other and they know how to fight with. And like Nick would do anything. Oh, nope, never mind. He's leaving his body. Cool.
Yeah, that seemed out of character.
It would have been a much better scene if Talos would have held up Gravik for Fury to get away. But instead, Gravik like murders him, and Nick's just standing there like,
yeah.
Okay, well, let's get out of here now. And Gravik just kind of let him go. He, with his Groot powers, he probably could have very easily stopped him. I was like, okay, is he letting them get away for a reason? Is the point made? But obviously, the president knows they weren't all. The president knew it wasn't all Russian, troops or whatever. Not Russian troops, but the Russian radicals or whatever. So, I mean, if they go the next episode like, we're going to war with Russia because they attacked the president. I think the president saw what was going on, or at least some of the troops that were there, because there was British troops, there was American troops.
Yeah.
If they come out and it's like World War III at the start, the brink of World War III because of that sloppy mission at the end of it, I'll be like, that makes no sense. Everyone saw what was going on. Because even, when Talos when he got shot and he was having a hard time holding on to his human form, other people saw it. And so they know aliens are about. If it's, I don't know. I just think the next episode is going to be like, that was a successfully executed mission. I really hope that Gravik starts a little lose of power with his group, because they're like, you failed again. Nick Fury basically saved the president, and basically you messed it all up. They're not going to war, and he starts a power struggle within his organization because of it. But I got a feeling it's not going to go that way.
Again, something needs to happen.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I mean, these are the writers that are on strike, but it also seems like they're like the B team. They're almost there. They're not the D team. They're the B team. They get some things really right, and they get some things really wrong.
Dave, this was written well before the writer's strike.
That's what I'm
this
saying.
This isn't them using AI to write the show as they're going along.
Maybe they
No.
did.
No, but these are the guys that are on strike. But yeah, like I said, it's the B team. It's not the A team. And at least it wasn't written by AI. It wasn't written by AI, but some of it seems like, well, maybe it would have been the same. If you stick with the main plot points and don't dive into the details, then you're looking at a really good show. But then the way they're explaining things, it's not coming out right.
I wonder if we were to open up ChatGPT and write our own episode of Secret Invasion using AI prompts. Can we figure out what the premise of the next episode is going to be before it airs?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. We should try that.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
We asked AI to write our Secret Invasion show, and here's what episode 4 is. Or 5.
Right.
And then the Marvel lawyers show up at our house. How did you guys do that? Oh, man, we must be onto something.
Oh, you mean we don't have to negotiate with the writers? No, that wasn't the point.
I loved it. Yeah, you loved it because you didn't have to pay anybody.
Right. The other thing, going back to your point about how there's no way that anybody would fall for that being the Russians. How many of them were what is the word for it when a Skrull takes somebody else's form? Transformed, I guess.
Yeah.
How many of them were shape shifted to look like the Gravik's form?
I think a lot of them. So there should be a bunch of dead Skrulls on the battlefield.
Wouldn't that be a giveaway too? Not only the dead Skrulls, that as well on top of it, but the fact that as soon as all these other soldiers are like, hey, wait a minute, they all look alike, and I'm not being racist.
Yeah,
if they came out of the water, if they came out of the water, you could call them the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh, you just gave that one away. Oh, that's too good. Oh man, bottle that up.
I'm writing jokes here. I'm writing jokes, folks.
That was actually really good.
But you're right, Doug. The next episode should be the Skrull threat is real. Right. How do we deal with it? Rhodey's on the run. Rhodey's trying to defend himself. The real Rhodey is trying to break out of his Skrull prison. Sharon Carter shows up to try to save the day, to wrestle power from Gravik. Because there's no way that anyone fell for that. And we're going to have people arming nukes. Like the president, if we start the next episode and he's like, I need my nuclear codes. We're going to war. And it's like Nick Fury is in 24 starring Jack Bauer, and he's trying to stop it. I'll be like, this is just, they've lost me. Because while I do still think it's above average, they are on the brink of losing me because of all of the silly choices that have been made for this.
Well, you're right about all that, except it's not Sharon Carter. You know who I'm talking about, right? Darcy. Darcy is going to be the one to come in and change it all.
Sure, why not?
She's going to be the mastermind that takes over Earth. That would be a real twist at the end. They win.
She's Gravik's boss.
She's actually Emperor Doge or whatever. That's who she is.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I could see that. She knew about physics and stuff. So
yeah, she knew it. She knew it. She went to school for like a semester and then she gained all that knowledge.
At this point, I would be like, sure, go for it.
Yeah, like if they
Why
did
not?
do that, you'd be like, yes.
No, I'd just be like, okay, cool. What else you got?
At the end, Sharon Carter and Darcy show up to start running the show, and Doug just deletes Slack so he doesn't have to hear from me. He doesn't show up for streams anymore. He's not going to shut up now. Oh my God.
Darcy and Sharon show up and they start working at a local diner, and they're both waitresses.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm blacking both of you.
Come on, man, that's a great idea.
Anyway, so how's Ahsoka?
We got a few minutes before we got to get into that.
Well, I just think, we kind of talked about what's next, and I really hope episode 5 is going to be a very make or break episode for me.
And there's 2 more, right? 5 and 6?
There's 2 more, yes. Mm-hmm. And I think how they handle the fallout from this final little battle that took place at the end of episode 4 is going to say a lot about if they're going to land this ending, because they have failed on the Skrull conspiracy part of this show. It has not been intriguing at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they need to do something to save this. And
Well,
I'm
just
hoping they have
happy.
some tricks up their sleeve.
I'm just happy
wonder
that
how
it's
much-
only 2 more weeks of this.
I mean, it would be so much better if it had been the Russo brothers, because they're good at writing those spy flicks,
Well, they didn't write those. It was, I forget the guys who wrote Winter Soldier and stuff. And they kept saying, oh, this has the Winter Soldier. This has nothing of a Winter Soldier vibe to it to me.
No, it doesn't.
So
And that's sad because it was built up to be that. And it has failed miserably on that level. Now, once again, I don't want to be bashing it the whole time because we have gotten some very fine acting on this.
well, and
Olivia
the thing
Colman.
was there, and this is like goes with the theme for later tonight, is like they can put together a fantastic trailer. I mean, this trailer looked like it was going to be, like you said, another Winter Soldier. It was going to be that good, and that's what I thought. But and then now we're going to see trailers later tonight, and we're going to have something to say about them. But I hate being fooled by trailers, and I'm getting to the point where, okay, every trailer is probably going to be amazing. And if it's not, we obviously know how bad that movie's going to be. Marvels. But
Well, you know what they say, Dave. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I won't be fooled again.
yeah, okay. George Bush. Thank you for quoting the president.
Fool me 3 times. Okay, don't do it again. Fool me 4. All right, I'm really getting tired of this here,
Yeah.
buckaroo.
That's pretty much
See-
what their trailers are.
The problem with the French is they don't have a word for entrepreneur.
I don't get it.
Oh,
But
boy.
let's
I
hope
miss
we
the
have-
simpler days of George Bush jokes.
Like trailers can make Zack Snyder movies look good, and pretty much
Yeah,
And they
if
have.
you took every Zack Snyder movie and made it into a trailer, they'd be amazing. If that's all you got from him, that'd be great. Give me a bunch of trailers from Zack Snyder.
Snyder
Snyderbots coming after me on that one.
And there is rain in the sky now. Hallelujah. The scene is going in slow-mo. You're feeling sad. You want to go. You want to get to the theater and scream, hallelujah. For Zack Snyder.
There's some
And his
crazy
movies.
chick from the ocean just singing a song for like 5 minutes. Hallelujah. And it's not
So,
Enya.
have both of you already pre-ordered your director's cut edition of Rebel Moon, super rated X edition?
Oh, I didn't see the
Because
super rated X. I just saw the rated R one I got. Darn, I'm gonna have to go back. I'll get them both. I'll get them all. I'll get the PG-13, the R, and the Super X.
Netflix wouldn't let me cuss a bunch.
Wait,
I wanted more blood.
is the Super X, is that the one with Eartha Kitt?
No, you couldn't be that lucky.
You know, she did do a wonderful Catwoman back in the 60s.
She did.
So
Hallelujah.
I don't know what else we can say about this show. We're already tangenting, so
Yeah,
let's
we're
hope
in
for better.
tangent time. Honestly, they've got to nail the landing. That's all. That's the only thing I can say.
They really do. I mean, I went back and I rewatched Winter
Moon Knight?
Soldier.
Oh, okay.
No, I have not gone back and rewatched Moon Knight. I sat through it the first time with you two gentlemen, and I haven't had any interest. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple of good scenes in that, a lot like this show. There's a couple of good scenes. Like, I will say the first couple of times where they did the flash back and forth when he was switching personalities, those were pretty good. And the weird, I don't know if this is reality or not, when he woke up in the hospital, that was kind of good. The overall show, didn't make any sense. I laughed harder than I probably should have at the giant kaiju Egyptian god battle. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, it was super goofy.
It was goofy.
But it was overall, it was disappointing, and that's kind of how I feel about Secret Invasion. Is there are a couple of good scenes here and there. I liked most of the last episode, not all of it, but most of it. And I think what I like the most about this, if we're going to talk about good acting, because I would disagree with you, Keith. I don't think a lot of the acting is that great, but I will say that I am always just like applauding every time Sam Jackson is in front of the camera, because that man can freaking act. Every scene with Nick Fury has been phenomenal, and that's where it starts to pull me back in.
His movies, the movies that he have been in, have made more money than any other actor in history.
I believe it.
He's an excellent actor. But should we maybe jump over to Ahsoka?
Well, I had one more thing to say.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I have one more thing to say too.
The only thing about the Rhodey reveal was that when she got out of the shower, that the Skrull was a female Skrull. That was the only thing that really surprised me about the Rhodey reveal.
Disney being woke, making my schools ladies.
I was like, well, I could see that. That's why the Rhodey might have a little more attitude, a little more oppression towards the female Skrulls. I don't know, but that was like, I thought it'd be, I guess in the movie The Marvels, the Talos actually impersonated a woman, so I get it, but he can't do a cat because he doesn't know what a cat is. It's a flirkin.
That's not a cat.
Keep that thing away from me. It's a flirkin.
The one other thing that kind of shows me how uninteresting and kind of predictable the show is, after the big reveal that Rhodey was a Skrull, there was like no chatter online.
No.
There was no trending of it. It's like, because everybody saw it coming. Wasn't a big reveal. They mishandled it, like Dave said. Just, hearing his voice over the phone was just kind of like lackluster how they did it. They could have done something way better. And that's kind of how this show has been going.
That didn't occur to me, but yeah, I haven't seen any like water cooler moments. I haven't seen a lot of chatter about this series at all. In fact, this is probably one of the first series where I haven't had to worry about it being ruined for me, because nobody's really, at least in the circles that I'm following on social media, I'm not seeing that many people talking about it.
There's not.
And I'm wondering,
And it's sad. You
Go
know
ahead.
what they did? They're fixing their mistake. I now have figured out what Marvel is doing.
What?
They were so upset that people were making up all these wild theories about WandaVision and stuff. And so, like, we're going to make this so predictable and easy to guess that there won't be any wild theories. That'll corral these crazy YouTubers coming up with this crazy stuff.
And then in the end, it's going to turn out that Gravik was Mephisto.
Yes.
dun, 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 Mephisto. Well, does that mean,
Absolutely.
does this absolutely? Does this simple reveal mean that this Skrull of Rhodey does not go back as far as we thought it did? It wasn't as impactful. So does it just mean he's only been recently impersonated, or which would suck because I hope it goes all the way back. But
I
is that
hope
what it
we
means?
get a reveal of when Rhodey was replaced at some point in this show.
Yeah.
Because that could
You
go a
already know
long
how I
way.
feel about that.
No, I know. Once again,
I'm just adding my 2 cents.
I think that would help me. If they did a good job of it, I would be a little happier, maybe lend a little more to the Skrull conspiracy point that's been so lackluster, but they won't. They'll just leave it up
Like I
to your
said.
own imagination, fans. Isn't that exciting?
It's the B team, dude. It's the B team.
And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.